Viewers, you're watching Times Now and our coverage of Operation Sindoor Pakistani misadventure continues. The latest is news coming in from Jammu. Multiple Pakistani drones have been spotted above the aims in Vijaypur in Jammu. Pradeep Datta now joining us for more on this. Yes, Pradeep.
Yes, for third consecutive day, we have seen that the aerial intrusion from the Pakistan side has been thwarted by the aerial defense system. And today, again, at about 8:20 p.m., there was the blaring sound of the siren. And immediately after that, about 50 to 100 drone, they came over towards Indian side. And finally, with the help of the air defense system, most of them were timely detected, intercepted, and finally neutralized. That way the threat has been right now thwarted. But yes, it clearly indicates that Pakistan is trying to, one, they are trying to target civilian areas. Second, they are trying to target technical airport. Third, they are trying to target military installation. Because most of the drones were seen flying in that particular direction only. If one goes by the trajectory of the drone, it appears that they were trying to target these structures. Because this is the fourth attack so far as Jammu region is concerned. Because the first attack was carried out on the 7th evening. When among all the 15 cities, Jammu was one of the cities that was to be targeted, but that time also this aerial intrusion was thwarted. Then again, yesterday at about 8:30 p.m., there was an aerial intrusion. Then the morning today at about 4:10 a.m., again the drones were fired from across the border. And this time again at 8:20, this fourth time during the last 4 days. That means the Jammu is on the terror radar so far as Pakistan is concerned. They are repeatedly trying to target this area because they want to target northern theatre of army forces, because they know most of the operation, it is the Northern Command that is involved in. One of the reasons that there has been aerial incursion in Udhampur area, it was in Nagrota area, it was in Sabah
stay
sector.
with us. You know, we have more breaking inputs coming in. There's also a White House statement that has come that we'll tell you about in just a bit. But let's tell you about another drone misadventure by the Pakistani military. Now, drones have been neutralized in and around Srinagar. We are learning that at least 6 to 8 drones were intercepted and neutralized. Let's try and boost the net up on these pictures. The sounds of thunder is when the drones were intercepted and neutralized. Priyank also joining us for more on this. Yes, Priyank, quickly tell us what's going on.
Priyank also joining us for more on this. Yes, Priyank, quickly tell us.
See, Pradesh, there have been series of drone swarming of drone which has been spotted here in the valley as well. Earlier to that, what we saw yesterday, that there were swarm of drones which were intercepted in the Jammu sector, where now what we have got to know that in Avantipura there were a few drones which have been brought down to the ground. There have been 6 to 7 drones which are intercepted by the air traffic control here at the Srinagar Air Base, which is an defense air base, which is also being used for the commercial purpose because of the kind of development which are happening. Certainly, the air base has been closed for any kind of further commercial purpose. Only defense aircrafts are being operating from particular location, and the Pakistanis have once again attempted to target this particular defense installation, which is important to be seen apart from the other defense installation which is in the Jammu sector. What we know about the confirmation which we got from the senior officials, that 6 to 7 drones were spotted, and drones have been
all of them were intercepted and neutralized. Priyank, stay safe. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this as this goes along. But you know, the White House statement is important. And let's quickly open this up. Captain Alok Bansal, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Dr. Ranganathan, and Brigadier Sandeep Tyagi all joining us. Abhijit, the White House has released a statement. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt has said that this is something that the Secretary of State and now our NSA, Marco Rubio, has been involved in. The President has expressed that he wants this to de-escalate as quickly as possible.
Well, look, there's a very easy way of de-escalation, Pranesh. It's very simple. Pakistan can't respond. We have to have the last strike. They started it, we finished it. I mean, this is a message that has been conveyed across every level and sector of the government to Pakistan. It is for Pakistan to provide the off-ramp. And from what I'm hearing, the Americans aren't saying anything different. Right? So it has to de-escalate. The only person who has to de-escalate this is Pakistan. They didn't help themselves today by escalating it even more. There are attacks going on right now as we speak. And they're very sinister attacks because, see, they point towards a deliberate attempt at escalation. Yesterday, all these drones came in really low and slow, right? They thought we would use our big missiles and panic and things. We didn't. We used appropriate anti-aircraft artillery. We didn't even use missiles, right? Few, but not many. Today, they're coming in at a much higher altitude. They deliberately want us. See, when you don't have good defense suppression, you then send in these drones, almost like, human wave tactics, really, to exhaust the supply of long and medium range missiles, after which they will send in their F-16s and JF-17s to carry out devastating strikes. We are not falling for that trap. They are trying every single day. Every one of their strikes has been an escalation from the previous strike, Pranesh. It is very important we don't fall for this nonsense. And the Americans have also told the Pakistanis that they need to stop. When they stop, we will strike once. Our strike will be the last. If they hit back to that...
No, Abhijit, I get that. But, you tell me there are many people, perhaps a school of thought, I don't know, who believe that why are we waiting for Pakistanis to use that F-16, etc., etc. Now that they've hit our military installations, let's go for, what the Pakistanis have been, inviting
Pranesh,
our wrath.
Here's the thing. I don't know why these people are in a hurry. We have to understand, Pakistan doesn't have the reserves. They don't have the economy. They have nothing to take them beyond about 7, 10, maximum outlier 15 days. The longer and longer and longer we prolong this at low intensity, the more lopsided it becomes in our favor. We need to do this. We should not be hitting them right now. We should be taking it very, very slowly, treating them over a long period of time. What they said, the death of 1,000 cuts. We are now giving them the death of 1,000 cuts.
Right. Dr. Ranganathan was showing something. What is it, sir? The Pak airspace?
Yes, Pranesh, you got to understand the machinations of a terrorist country. This is a country that is perhaps was never bothered about its own people, but now it's not bothered about anybody else. I am showing you right now a snapshot that I have taken of live flights right now in harm's way over Pakistan being flown deliberately. Deliberately. These are flying coffins. And despite India mentioning this in the evening, they continue to do so. These are international flights, national flights. Some are going to the Middle East, some are going to Europe. This is what Pakistan is all about. So next time, can you please stop calling or some people in Pakistan as supporting terror? No. The establishment are terrorists. No person in sane mind who is a head of an organization, leave alone a country, would allow this sort of a thing. And you can see the neat, almost blank status of the border that we share with Pakistan, how no Indian flight is operating there. And you look at the Pakistan situation right now. So the situation is absolutely clear as far as we are concerned. And shame on all those who were clamoring for Modi to pick up the sword yesterday. And when he did, now they're asking for the sword to be put down. These are all those de-escalators and God knows whatever term they might call them. Shame on them, because this is what they are promoting. This is what all those de-escalators are promoting. This will continue until this is stopped. This has to be nipped in the bud. This is what I'm trying to tell you, that now the situation is beyond the pale. It has gone beyond the fact of any sense and sensibility. Pakistan does not care about its own people, Pranesh. Please understand that.
One person who can perhaps nip this in the bud is President Trump. He says he has good relations with leaders of both countries. As inane as that sounds. But let's quickly play out what the White House press secretary said.
Can you give us an update on U.S. efforts to mediate or have an impact on the conflict between India and Pakistan?
Sure, I absolutely can. This is something that the Secretary of State and, of course, now our National Security Advisor as well, Marco Rubio, has been very much involved in. The President has expressed he wants to see this de-escalate as quickly as possible. He understands these are two countries that have been at odds with one another for decades, long before President Trump was here in the Oval Office. However, he has good relationships with the leaders of both countries, and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, I spoke to him just yesterday. He has been in constant communication with the leaders of both countries trying to bring this conflict to an end.
Can you give us an update on U.S. efforts to mediate or have an...
Abhijit, how can the United States have good relations with Pakistan, where Osama bin Laden was found?
Look, these are, we need to separate the chaff from the wheat, right? America uses this term very often, even when they're being sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek. Good relations is quite the putting good relations and Pakistan in the same sentence with regards to any of its neighbors is a bit of an oxymoron. It will elicit the same laughs in Delhi that it will in Kabul or in Tehran, right? Everybody knows you can't have good relations with Pakistan because it's a mindset. They have to adjust their own mindset. Now, the only good relation out here is for Pakistan to back off. Everyone knows this. So they're spinning it their way. They're trying to give some kind of a face-saving whatever to Pakistan. That's fine. I don't care if they give a face-saver. My only thing is we have shown loud and clear, Pranesh. We have shown loud and clear we don't give a damn what the international press is saying. We're not engaging with the international press that keeps running anti-India stories. The Pakistanis are, let them run it. Because we are going to win this, whether we have their blessings or not, it doesn't matter. Let them run 500,000 negative stories about us. It isn't going to break our resolve. We're done with seeking international validation. If the others want to give some kind of face saver, but remember, no face saver is going to remove from the fact that India is going to get the last say this time.
Captain Bansal, before I bring you in, Brigadier Sandeep Tyagi is also with us. Brigadier, Pakistanis have once again started their tactical delusions, the drone attack.
Yeah, precisely, Pranesh, good evening once again, and this is exactly what I was trying to bring out earlier in the evening, that this is something which we will continue to be, need to be prepared for, and this is going to go on. While the previous speakers have adequately brought out as to how we should go about doing what we must, despite the fact that whatever the White House has put out or the international media is saying or whatever the so-called international community is wanting to give a face saver to Pakistan, be that as it may, we must continue to sort of maintain and ensure that all these, drone activities are not sort of detrimental to our, security and our assets. This is precisely what I was mentioning earlier in the evening. So this just reinforces what I said. And to sort of come back to what the earlier speakers were saying and what you were asking, definitely a rogue state would continue to remain rogue, right? And we need to put the rogue state into the right place. That goes without saying in any case. So while we do that, we must ensure that our capacity building continues to go up and we remain ahead in the curve of air defense. That's absolutely essential. That's what I was trying to say earlier in the evening.
That we are, I think, it's fair to say that we are ahead in the game already. But Captain Bansal, people who are watching our broadcast, they want to, go beyond the military jargons, for lack of a better phrase. I want you to break this down. People want to know it kab tak chalega, kya ho raha hai, why is Pakistan doing this, what can we do so that Pakistan does not do this?
See, firstly, we need to be very clear that wars are won using your brain, not by raw emotions. And as Abhijit rightly brought out, these repeated attacks by drones clearly indicates Pakistan's strategy. See, Pakistan is a weaker power. it realizes it doesn't have ammunition, it has limited ammunition, it has limited war fighting capability, it does not have economic wherewithal to sustain a long war. At the same time, they know that India has a much better air defense system. Now, by sending these drones, it is actually forcing us to use our ammunition and missiles. Now, please understand, a missile that engages a drone is much more expensive than the drone itself. So that factor needs to be taken into account. Now, can we keep doing it? The second part, which I agree, is that the longer this war goes on, the weaker Pakistan becomes. At the same time, the internal dissensions within Pakistan also start getting aggravated. You have seen what's been happening in Balochistan. What TTP is doing is also known. With the passage of time, you'll find that even the Sindhi nationalists will start coming, because this, coupled with Indus Water Treaty, which we have kept in abeyance, there's going to be a severe water crisis in Pakistan. Already Sindh is accusing Punjab of stealing their water. And if the water shortage increases, there's going to be inter-provincial differences. We are already approaching IMF. I don't know whether we'll be successful or not, because that depends on purely on United States of America. And I'm not one of those who actually give too much of credit to United States of America. Trump administration is nobody's own. They would do what they feel like. And yesterday's statement that came out from Vice President was very clear. It is none of our business to get involved in it, irrespective of what they are saying today. So we need to be very, very careful. But I think we need to be patient. We need to hold our ground strong.
Okay, be patient, hold the ground, says Captain Bansal. You know, Dr. Ranganathan, I am particularly interested in the question about Ankara, Turkey. You see, India keeps sending humanitarian aid, flight after flight, year after year. And how do they respond? They backstab us, betray us, and they give loans to these Pakistani, the fools there in the military, who fly them like it's some, wedding going on.
No, but, we've suffered this with multiple countries, to be honest, Bangladesh being the latest example. And if you remember in 1971, war with Pakistan, all our Arab friends ditched us, including Egypt. And Egypt was supposed to be, as Nehru admitted, and later on Indira Gandhi, our greatest friend and ally, including Palestine. Every one of us, only one Middle Eastern nation stood with us and helped us tide that war. That was Israel. So we've suffered, and, we continue to suffer, but that should not take away from the fact that we ourselves over decades have realized that we are alone in this fight. But if we are alone, we are also united. We're going to win it. A case in point being, for 25 years, you had the terrorist and the murderer of Daniel Pearl, being let loose. Nobody, even America, could not capture it. We killed that barbarian yesterday, day before yesterday. Has any country thanked us? Has USA thanked us for it? No. We are alone in this fight, but we will get through this. But, one point that Abhijit made yesterday needs to be said, because it's very important, because it's going to come up and it keeps cropping up. So please allow me 30 seconds to elaborate on that. It's important for you as a media house as well. You see, day before yesterday, a prominent newspaper carried fake news of Indian jets being downed. It had to apologize, but then the bravado in it could not help but say that, look, we are in a state of war and we must project the truth. This is the problem in today's generation. They're semi-literates who become these journalists who think they are the next, Robert Capa. They should read a little about what happened in World War II and UK. All that the UK was giving out was false information. There was maximum censorship. There were operations like Operation Fortitude that was done to deliberately fool the enemy country. So Abhijit is right. False information is one of the biggest weapons when you are fighting a war. Ultimately, what happens is you believe, you keep your eyes open, but believe everything that happens after the war is done. So don't be stupid. Don't go for telling the truth and compromising our state, especially when you're compromising our brave Jawans.
Abhijit?
There is such a thing as war propaganda. It is an accepted part of war. और कोई करता है तो war propaganda. But according to alt news, news laundry, if we do it, it is misinformation. Their beloved star, who from a rival channel of yours, who rocks up at their little mujra, annual mujra, media mujra that they have, some bumble thing, put out the same fake news everybody else did. They everyone except him. Honor amongst mujra walas. Kya baat hai bhai?
Yeah, this is about the shared identity. ये वो है. This is the global ummah. Dr. Ranganathan
I
is
share
right.
no identity with them. Pranesh, they are not Indians. I don't share identity with them. They are Pakistani agents. They are fifth columns. I share no identity with them.
But Abhijit, to say, I mean, I know what you mean, and yes, you're very, disgusted because you know the facts. But let me just say this: it also might be because of ignorance. This generation has not read everything there is to be read. I mean,
No.
the entire thing of fighting a war started with World War II, when, things were televised, at least if not, they were, filmed, if books were written. There is so much data on how to fight a war. And UK, Churchill were prime examples. I mean, propaganda was a staunch arm of the army at that, of allies, not just army. And I'm not just talking about the European front.
First of all, these are adults. They're over 18. We shouldn't infantilize them. I know they behave like little children on their whatever hafta something, sasta hafta something, whatever it is. But just because they behave like little juveniles, it doesn't mean they are juveniles. There is a fundamental principle of law: ignorantis juris non excusat.
No, Abhijit, are you saying this because, you want this clip to feature in the next episode?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because they are traitors. And they need to know they're traitors. Their viewers should know that they're traitors. They're all paid by Pakistan and they're traitors. Especially that googly-eyed freak.
Pranesh, संभालो इसको.
Sir, ये तो drone attack हो गया. ये collateral में मैं चले जाऊंगा.
अरे collateral जो उनके ऑफिस में जाता है होता है. You don't know that owner, that CEO fellow has terrible body.
Okay, Abhijit Iyer Bitra, let's focus on Dr. Ranganathan, 1 minute. Let's tell our viewers about what's going on. Aerial threats are being tracked. Top sources are telling us that prompt action has been taken. We are foiling Pakistani misadventure at multiple places. There's also the White House statement that we told you about. But let's bring in our reporters. Priyank Tripathi, Pradeep Datta, Techri, Rishabh, all our reporters now. Getting Arunil also. Let's quickly bring in Pradeep. Pradeep, what's happening? What's the latest? Priyank, if you could take that question and tell us what's going on.
Again foiled by the aerial defense system, because L-70 gun has been able to bring down all those drones that were trying to target army installation as well as the technical airport here in Jammu region. But Jammu seems to be on the radar of Pakistan army, because this is the fourth attack during the last 36 hours, and for the last 3 days we have seen that continuously they are trying to send the swarm of drones towards this side, but these Turkish drones have so far failed to intrude into the Indian airspace, because our armed forces are quite ready and they are alert and vigilant to deal with any kind of such incursion from the other side. But what is what is a matter of concern is that while the drones are coming out to this side, that is the time when Pakistan opens mouths of their gun. Already we have seen that there is a ceasefire violation in Samba sector. Heavy shelling is going on in Poonch, Gulmarg, Akhnur and Palawala sector. And the timing is, look at the timing. This is the time when there is a complete blackout. All of a sudden the focus is on how to bring down this drone. That is the time when they open mouths of their gun, because they want to divert attention of the troop, because they want to push in terrorists. Yesterday one of the infiltration attempts was foiled in Samba sector when 7 of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists were killed. So they are continuing to provoke India. They are continuing with their strategy of leading in, because there seems to be no end to infiltration from their side. We have seen that even after Operation Sindhu, they are continuing to infiltrate terrorists into, like Zebra cannot change its stripe, Pakistan cannot change its strategy of bleeding India 1,000 cut, because they will continue to bleed India. They will continue with supporting terror, aiding and abetting terror. That's what actually they are doing. But so far as our soldiers are concerned on the ground, they are quite vigilant, they are quite alert. They know what actually the Pakistan's modus operandi is. They have already foiled the infiltration attempt in Samba sector. They have already ensured that punitive action need to be taken, because this time they are not going for tit-for-tat response. Because tit-for-tat response, if you are going to fire 2 shells, we will be firing 2 shells. This time there is a clear-cut instruction from Prime Minister, because there was a meeting with the Prime Minister had with Defence Minister. And during that meeting, it was discussed.
Just stay with us. Arunil Saradater also joining us from Bhuj in Gujarat. There are reports, Arunil, that a swarm of Pakistani drones have been intercepted and neutralized there.
Well, that is right, Pranesh. As many as 15 drones have been intercepted as well as neutralized in the western border of Gujarat. That is basically the Kutch district as well as the Banaskantha district. At present, I'm reporting from the strategically important town of Bhuj. You can see a complete blackout has been witnessed in Bhuj as well since yesterday and today. A complete blackout being witnessed over here. And what has been noticed is, Pradeep Datta was also speaking about it, that at strategic locations, strategically important locations, defense points, basically, these drones are being noticed, be it at BSF's main checkpost near Bhuj, or be it at the Jakhau port as well. Several drones were noticed and then later on foiled by the advanced air defense system that was initiated by India. So what exactly is the motive of Pakistan over here? It has been foiled till now by India, but continuous drone movements have been noticed. PM Modi also, who hails from Gujarat, had a word with the Chief Minister of Gujarat, that is Bhupendra Patel, to basically give out information about what exactly the centre is doing and what the state government of Gujarat is also doing to ensure safety of the people in the border areas, and how more security measures can be initiated.
You know, Dr. Ranganathan, when the Pakistani defense minister admits that their second line of defense will be children from madrasas who have been indoctrinated by the minute, what does it tell you about Pakistan?
No, what it says is two things. Number one is that Abhijit was right. I heard him, an hour ago, I think, on a previous show, saying that Pakistan is going to exhaust its equipment very soon, its armory very soon. But the fact of the matter is, be that as it may, the two biggest resources of Pakistan are donkeys and its people, in that order perhaps, or maybe the order is different. So I think you're looking at a ground invasion very soon, possibly not of donkeys, but of Pakistani peoples. If not a ground invasion, what else do they have? They are going to lie straight, and as I said, they are even making their planes as flying coffins. They are going to sacrifice everything in the interest of whatever this Munir is ranting about. Those, and even in Arabic, I mean, half the people in Pakistan don't even understand that language. But he's ranting about those, chanting those verses, and they don't understand. They're fighting and saying, yes, we are going to follow you. None of them are going to follow Munir. In fact, Munir is going to run away from the first flight available. But the fact of the matter is, you can fool all of the people all of the time in Pakistan.
Captain Bansal, what happens to the jihadi general Munir? And what does he want? Where will he draw the line? Or are we waiting for him to, back off? De-escalate is the buzzword now. De-escalate. Sir, you're on mute.
Considering the manner in which Pakistan army dominates the body politic of Pakistan, it is virtually impossible for Pakistan's army to show that they are de-escalating. So they have to keep projecting that they are fighting. And that's why their weapons of choice have been those which can be seen by public, which make noise, which are heard, artillery shells, drones, missiles, which can be seen. This is to hoodwink their population that Pakistan army is giving a befitting reply. At the same time, he knows that Pakistan army does not have the wherewithal to fight a long war. So he is banking on two factors. One is that he's hoping that the Western countries will intervene, because he has been talking about nuclear war and nuclear threshold and all those issues. But after US statement that it is none of their business, they have realized that this tack may not work. The second option is targeting civilians, hapless, innocent civilians, hoping that India would agree to a ceasefire. None of these two ploys are working. And I think very soon his bluff is likely to be called on. And I think within the army, there are dissensions. Of course, he has managed to remove some of the dissenting generals after the last incident which had happened.
Right.
But still, within the rank and file of army, there are a lot of people who are opposed to him. Pakistan's political status, you have seen what happened today in parliament. One of the PTI MPs called Shahbaz Sharif a Gidar and
Buzdil.
related Tipu Sultan.
Yeah, we can play that out actually. You're right. We can play that out and but before that, Abhijit, many people believe that, and it could well be a conspiracy theory, which is why I want you to clear this. Are there Chinese military advisors, reportedly embedded in Pakistan, giving them, technical support, etc., etc.?
No. As a rule, they don't. And I'll tell you why. See, the Chinese don't believe in allies. They believe in free radicals. They expect everybody to, pay their own way kind of thing. Now, Pakistan got a lot of help. They got nukes. They got cut price discounts, massive cut price discounts till about 3-4 years back on their weapons and things, under the promise that they would maintain two insurgencies, Kashmir and Punjab. Punjab fizzled out 15 years back, but the Chinese were happy as long as the Kashmir insurgency was kept boiling. So whatever, value Pakistan had, and China, was good. China tried to then prop up their economy and said, well, even if you can't keep Kashmir, you can at least, improve your economy. With the Pakistan-China economic corridor. Even that was sabotaged by the military. ये इतने खंजर हैं भाई मेरे, इतने खंजर हैं, these military folks, their brothers and sisters, because the military is Zamindar nexus out there, for building each pillar for the elevated road, which would have cost no more than 1 lakh in, say, rural Larkana. 1 lakh, I'm stretching it, by the way. An unirrigated land would come to about 15 to 20,000 rupees per this thing. They were charging 10 crores. And the Chinese went and told them, bhai, what are you doing? We're building this for you. And the military guys were like, oh, he's my uncle. She's my Mosi. She's my Fufaji. She's my Papaji. Give them. And the Chinese were like, thank you very much. And that was that.
Yeah, Dr. Ranganathan was saying something. Then I bring in our reporters, Yavar, Sabyasachi, Tejshri. Yes, doctor.
No, I think our biggest secret weapon actually is Abhijit A200, but the 200 is his weight. So, I think Pakistan needs to worry about that. But, there is good news and bad news. I have to say this. Look, the bad news is that with every passing hour, minute, Pakistan is realizing that it simply cannot win a conventional war against India. I mean, it's armory, it's ammunition, our armory, ammunition, ADS. So I think it's going to sooner or later realize that the only way it can match us is that it is going to deploy its nuclear arsenal. But the good news is that Pakistan's nuclear bomb is made in China.
Brigadier?
Yeah, please go ahead. Ask me. What do you want me to say?
यही सर, Chinese nuclear weapon पे भरोसा है आपका?
There has to be a question in there, isn't it, Pranesh? Well, I can laugh about it, but then there is nothing to laugh about an atomic weapon. Yeah, of course, to chuckle, yes, but it's something which let us not joke about. We have a lot of serious matters to talk about.
No,
and,
so what you're saying is that it's not beyond Pakistan or the people, who control the levers there to use one. Is that what you're saying?
So, where the levers rest in Pakistan, there is no doubt about it. Who's in the power there. And while we have a structure here, we have a no first use nuclear policy, stated one, we are a responsible nation. We are a responsible atomic power, which is not the same as far as Pakistan is concerned. And you also know where the levers of power rest over there, where the choice of, using, and as is well known, and now it's cliched that they will sort of negotiate with the world with the gun to their own head, especially the Pakistan army. So therefore, there is nothing new over there. So, this so-called being irrationally rational is what is their
Okay. News just coming in. Sorry to interrupt, Brigadier Tyagi. News just coming in that there will be an important meeting at 10 a.m. The Prime Minister will be chairing this. There will be the CDF, the three service chiefs. This is the Defence Minister. Rajnath Singh, our Raksha Mantri, will be holding this meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We also have information that we've unleashed our drone power and hit the Gujran district in the Punjab province of Pakistan. Let's bring in our reporters, Yavar, Techri and Sabyasachi. Yavar, what are you picking up?
Well, exactly, Pranesh. There has been, drone attacks that have been thwarted in the Srinagar airport, around the Srinagar airport and the Avantipura air base. Now, we have been given the understanding that 6 to 7 drones have been brought down by the, defense, Indian Defence Airspace Service in the Baramulla, so as in the Srinagar and in the Avantipura as well. A number of attempts were made today by the Pakistan to sneak drones into the Indian territory, particularly in the Srinagar, in the adjacence to it. Many of the locations were under the target, but eventually the system has brought them down. There was some sort of panic among the people that have been witnessing because of the sirens and the blackout that have been witnessed all across. But now the situation is to be under control, and the officials are asserting that they are going to come up the details over it very shortly. Now the defense have to say that over 26 locations across the country have witnessed this drone attack. Particularly 5 alone are in the J&K, comprises in the Jammu, in the Nagrota, Avantipura, Baramulla, so as in the Srinagar. So this is once again an aggression that has been shown. We have witnessed it that this is for the first time.
We have a new picture, and I want to bring in Techri and Sabyasachi on this. Also, Abhijit, Dr. Ranganathan and Brigadier Tyagi, they stay on. These are the latest pictures of Indian retaliation from Neelum Valley. So this is India sending a message to Pakistan, and like the government has been saying, this is our measured and proportionate response to the Pakistani provocation. These are pictures, and we'll put them out. These are pictures from the Neelum Valley. The drone swarms intercepted and shot down. Techri.
Well, absolutely. The latest picture that we are picking up from Neelum Valley, which in fact, not just Neelum Valley, in fact, there are several, in fact, videos also, and the images also, and the CCTV footage also that we got today, and we in fact showed that how India is giving it back to Pakistan, and in fact is sending a message that no matter what Pakistan is making such kind of cowardly attack, India is not going to sit quiet. India is going to definitely give a befitting reply. India is going to punish Pakistan in its own language. The kind of, in fact, retaliation that we have been seeing from the Indian side. We have also seen the video, the CCTV footages, which also in fact shows that how the infiltration bid was spoiled, how in fact the Pakistani post, there was a blast at the Pakistani post as well. Not just that, but also if we talk about the latest development as of now in Jammu, then yes, there were several drones, the suspected drones that were all shot down. They were intercepted here in Jammu, particularly near the Jammu airport, and definitely we are not going to disclose our location from where we are reporting right now. Here also, in fact, at regular intervals, we could hear the sirens. But yes, if we talk about the international border areas, the firing continues in the international border areas, particularly in the RS Pura sector, in Arnia as well. Also, if we talk about Aknur, which also has LOC, and the international border at Aknur also, what we are getting to know is that heavy shelling is there from the side. Heavy shelling continues from the side of Pakistan. Definitely, Indian Army is retaliating in an appropriate manner. But you see, this is not just one time that Pakistan is carrying out such kind of unprovoked firing or unprovoked attempt. But after Pahalgam, since after the Pahalgam terror attack, Pakistan has been, indulging in such kind of coward tactics since then. And remember, we also reported from Poonch, we reported from Rajouri and several other areas near to LOC, where we showed that how the civilians were particularly targeted by Pakistan, and we showed the kind of destructions that were caused. There were 16 innocent lives that were killed. The 16 innocent
update, Techri. Let's quickly play out these pictures from the Neelum Valley. This is proof of Indian retaliation. So Abhijit, these are pictures from Neelum Valley, and the point that I was trying to make earlier in the show, that there's no end to this kind of, what is it, strategic idiocy?
Yeah, look, let them do it. They're trying to be smart with what little money and resources they have. The point is our pockets are much deeper. Look, Pranesh, their reserves are 15 billion, out of which 7 billion is Saudi co-owned, which the Saudis are not releasing for them. They've literally got only about 8 billion. Our reserves are what, 850 billion close to. Where is the comparison? Let them do it. Let them keep trying. I encourage them to keep trying. My only regret in all of this is people are dying on our side as well. I don't care about who happens or who or what dies on the other side. I do care people who die on my side.
Dr. Ranganathan, Abhijit is talking about deep pockets. When Pakistanis, they run out of money, they go with a begging bowl. Sometimes it is China. Then you have these OIC, the Arab countries, the global Ummah, shared identity, etc., etc. And now it's the IMF. Despite everything that the Pakistanis have done, not done, these so-called global bodies, it just shows that disconnect.
Not only that, the fact that they are begging for survival, of what money they get, Pakistan spends more as a percentage of GDP on its defense than we do. And this is the result of that. But, as a common man, I'm so sorry, I keep asking that again and again. Because as I said, they're going to run out of almost everything that they have. And everything that they throw at us would be proven useless. So, who is going to end this? Abhijit thinks it is us. Abhijit, I would like you to expand on that. How do you think we would end it?
How would we end it? We'd go around bombing a few more sites in Pakistan and expect them not to retaliate. Maybe bomb the 3 submarines that are in dry dock right now.
And are we looking at a breakup of Pakistan? India actually making that happen?
That's not our end game. But if they push us to it, look, like Commodore Bansal said, the longer this drags on, the more and more the Fissiparist tendencies within Pakistan accelerate. Remember, when you are in dire economic straits, people don't realize the economic nature of the emergency when it was imposed in India. People don't realize the effect the oil blockade and the refugees had on our economy, all of which contributed to it. So what happens out here is, the worse and worse their economic situation gets, it is the social fabric that starts breaking down of a state first.
Like Soviet Union.
People don't seem to remember that when the Soviet Union broke up,
right,
the social fabric had broken down. Every single republic was in revolt in some form or the other. People coming out, except the Stans, except the Central Asia, who love dictators even now. All the rest of them were out on the streets.
Okay, on that thought, we're taking a quick break. Gentlemen, please stay with us. Just bear with me. A short break. We're right back. Welcome back. Swarm of drones spotted in Pakistan at Kharain and the Jalapur Jatan area in Pakistan. So this is India unleashing its drone power and, giving it back, like Abhijit said, that let them play the slow game. It's not hurting us. Captain Alok Bansal, today is day 3. After the first day, when, the day after precision strikes, we said in our statement that we only targeted terror targets. No military installation was targeted. Then you had the Pakistani military unleashing attacks on our installations. Is that an act of war, or are we, still looking at more such things before we can say that, look, we are at war?
See, we have not declared war, but all these actions are acts of war. They are actually targeting targets in India across international border, and that by all stretch of imagination is an act of war. Having said that, as I said right in the beginning, that we need to retaliate. Our retaliation needs to be measured. We really do not need to flare up. We need to keep this conflict lingering. A lingering conflict is far more dangerous for Pakistan than a quick, short, debilitating conflict. In fact, whatever these conflicts will inflict the losses, more than that would be the damage that Pakistan would suffer on account of keeping Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. That treaty alone will cause greater impact to Pakistan's economy than all the actions that we take during this conflict, irrespective of what we do. That we need to understand, that would have far more debilitating impact on Pakistan than this. So I personally feel that we should now start targeting military targets, but in a calibrated manner. The way Pakistan is targeting or sending drones, I just noted that there have been attacks in Srinagar airfield and all those things. We should also start targeting their airfields.
I think that we have been, and Abhijit will share more details on that, but Dr. Ranganathan wanted to come in. Yes, sir.
No, I was just saying that, sir, we just mentioned about the Indus Water Treaty. I mean, only now I have to say this, it is dawning on the nation what Mr. Modi has achieved by putting it in abeyance, suspending it. It was, I would say, our greatest handle. This tap on, tap off, had we developed it over the last 15, 20 years to our advantage, I dare say that Pakistan would have been on a leash so tight, it would not have dared to do whatever it has over the last 20, 25 years. Be that as it may, I think der aaye durust aaye. I would have to say that now all the dam and other projects that were kept in abeyance, if I can use that phrase, have to be started on a war footing. And at least on the western rivers, we have to be absolutely cutthroat. On the eastern rivers, yes, we've started it. But on the western, absolutely no let off whatsoever. I mean, from the 60s onwards, for last 60 years, Pranesh, IWT has made India suffer. No more.
Abhijit.
We are at a stage, I'm going to disagree with Anand here. Till I don't think you're not as old as me, Pranesh, so you don't remember the good old days. But, it was one of those things where when I was growing up, Pakistan was the success story, India was the failure. There was that very famous cartoon, I think it was of India or whatever that put it up, of two street dogs stalking across a barbed wire fence. The Pakistani dog was fat, the Indian dog was all lean and its ribs were showing. And the Pakistani dog says, well, I can eat. And the Indian dog says, I don't get to eat, but I at least get to bark. That was the situation in those days. Today, we've come a full 180 degrees. Pakistan is the absolute failure. At least when we hit rock bottom in 1990, we got out by 1991, 1992. They are unable to get out because they're unwilling to fix their fundamental basics. So the power differential in those days, there was not much we could do. Today, there is a lot more we can do. And we are utilizing that. See, the notion yatha raja tatha praja, it is kind of a chicken and egg thing. You choose a person at the time that you want, when a nationalist sentiment grows, when pride grows, who's willing to accommodate those nationalist sentiments. And so that is what you're seeing today. We could not have done it 25 years back. Today we have the wherewithal. Sure, we can't say what Israel does or what America does. But jo hum kar sakte hain, wo to kar rahe hain na. At least, that situation actually changed by about 2005, 2006. We were doing very well. In spite of that, Manmohan Singh did not do. What did he say? He summoned the ISI director down to give an explanation. Ye aapne kabhi suna hai? And then to add insult to injury, the ISI director refused to come. He said, I'm not interested in your invitation.
I was speaking to Brahma Chalani in the evening, and he said that, look, we must leverage the situation that we are in. And by that, he meant that all the major countries are supporting India. So, your thoughts on that?
I don't want all these major countries poking their nose in. Because when you seek approval from them, when that approval turns, it turns very badly on you. Look at Israel, they sought the approval of America. When Biden flipped, then they had to agree to a peace deal. They never got all the hostages back. So, what we're doing, have you noticed the government isn't engaging with the foreign press? One or two ambassadors, so for example, the ambassador in America gave an interview to Fox News, which is not inimical to us. Other than that, our message to the world is you never stood by us. We don't give a damn for your approval or your approbation. We are going to do what we do. Please write all your negative stories. You'll see it has zero impact on us. And that's a very, very good message to send out. I am sick and tired of giving these toilet paper users anything worth attention that any toilet paper user deserves.
Dr. Ranganathan, Abhijit Iyer Mitra is not in a mood to, mince his words. I'm scared कि इसके कितने clip बनेंगे और कितने में I will feature.
I'm sure you know the Mr. Murray, he doesn't go by Kalidas, he goes by Galida.
Okay. We'll have to take a short break. Dr. Ranganathan, I thank you for joining us. Brigadier Saab, Brigadier Tyaji, thank you for joining us. Captain Bansal, let's see how this unfolds. A short break, viewers. Lots more lined up on Times now on the other side.